So welcome back to my channel. This is Gamer Dom, and to my little campfire where I'm cooking marshmallows and drinking tea. Oh, whatever. This is a new look garage. Not really a garage, is it? It's just the clearing. And we've got the Strv 1030. This is the tier 9 Swedish tank destroyer. Now, I've been working my way down this line. It's taken me quite a long time to get this far. And in the end I was a bit critical of the UDES, but actually in the end I really liked it and I've kept it. But I've also been working my way through the tier 9, and again it's taken a little while to get used to, so I wanted to make sure I'd had a decent number of games before I did a look at it. So let's have a look first of all where it sits on the tech tree. Obviously, oops, first time I'm recording with the new patch, so I have to see how that goes. So very familiar route if you're working your way down the Swedish time, the IKVs, 90s, the UDES, then into the Strv 103, and then the S-Tank, the 103B, which is the tier 10. In terms of equipment wise, well, it comes with basically the top gun that you have on the UDES, which is a pretty efficient gun and actually is not a big deal in terms of using it until you've unlocked the very top gun. So this base gun, 288 base penetration, is pretty reasonable. 6.9 rate of fire, 390 average damage, dispersion 0.4, but that's only when you're firing on the move. So where's the number? Oh, I'll have a look at it in the garage anyway. So it's quite an efficient gun. You then move on to this much better gun later on, which you'll need to do anyway to get onto the tier 10 version. Now to unlock that gun, you do need to get the extra tracks, so you will need to research the tracks. I think you can get the engine, if memory serves, you can get the engine first, which helps your mobility, and then the tracks, and then radio you've already got, and then you move on to the gun itself, the top gun. So you know, if you played the UDES, this thing is pretty much the same but at a tier higher. It's got, well, let's say the two guns it offers you are this top gun and the stock gun. So the top gun, they're both 105mm guns. The top gun basically gives you better penetration, 308 versus 288, and 350 versus 330. Same alpha, 390 average, and same dispersion and aim time when you're firing on the move. When you're obviously when you're battened down doing the stabilizer, hit the X button and get stabilized out, that accuracy goes down to almost nothing. It's almost impossible to miss in theory, but this is World of Tanks, and RNG, as we know, will fuck you over every so often. Oops, said a rude word, sorry. So gunpowder, so firepower is not too bad at all. Crack, it's hard to read with this background, isn't it? So let me read that out. So reload time 7.2. I've got a very good crew. So this is my girly crew that I won whenever that was. We did the thing where you could win girlies. Always need a girly in your life. So I've got a very good crew on it. So my reload time is now down to 7.26, which is giving me DPM of 3,225 with a rammer. So very, very good. Gun depression minus 11. So the accuracy of this gun when in travel mode is quite horrible. It's about 3 degrees per second, but when you get into siege mode it drops down to a pretty darn impressive, somewhere I think it's 1.15 base, which obviously can get better. So you know, it's laser accuracy. You just have to whip the gun round in siege mode and it pretty much acquires the target, and actual accuracy 0.38 is, well, that's with buffs and all kinds of stuff, so probably about 0.4 when in travel mode, but goes down to a really amazing 0.29 when in siege mode. And that's really where this thing comes into its own. So it has a very, very punchy, high velocity gun that penetrates at considerable distance and accuracy when in siege mode. And even the stock gun is really one of the best stock guns you will get in a high tier tank in this game, so still very, very competitive. So hit point wise, yeah, it's nothing special. 1500 is a little on the low side, but it is a TD, and TD gets screwed over with HP. Armor, well, this is one of these weird stories. So on paper, rubbish, 40, 30, 30. But because of that angling, and we don't, without going into a huge amount of detail around this thing, but basically because of the extreme angle you can get when you are using the stabilizing system, it's an auto ricochet for all things that are not more than three times the caliber of the hull value. So it's 40 millimeters of frontal armor on the front there, times by 3 is 120, so everything 121 and above is an auto pen, everything under that is an auto ricochet. So, you know, kind of a nice thing to know. So you need to know your tanks. So if you're up against Russian tanks, then you probably don't want to go head to head. But if you're up against some of the American tanks, most of the American tanks actually, you can just sit out there in the open and just say, shoot me baby, and they have to get very, very fortunate to pen. But let's hop over to Tanks GG and have a look at the profile. So here we are on Tanks GG with the Strv. This is, well, I mean, it's weird armour. It's like all these Swedish TDs on paper, very, very thin, 40 millimeters there, but because of the angling, you know, like 102, but because it's so effectively angled, that's an auto ricochet. For anything over, well, 40, over 121 millimeters and above will auto pen. Anything else will auto ricochet pretty much. The side plates spaced armor as well, so you know, good luck there. Got no chance of penetrating any of that. These middle panels here, which is where the tracks are, that's even thicker still. The commander's hatch on top is very, very weak, but it's a pretty small target. But if you get close enough, it's only 20 millimeters, so you will go through that very, very easily. Side, yeah, that's easier, much easier. Side on this thing, 40 millimeters, and that's with some spaced armor. 30 just through the tracks there, and up the jacksie, well, easy to pen. So yeah, that's the Steve on Tanks GG. It's a very, very deceptive armor, as you'll know if you played any of the tier 8s, tier 9s or tier 10s in the Swedish TD line. That incredible angling is phenomenally effective against all calibers of well, apart from Russian guns, shall we say. 120 millimeters and lower will have almost never pen this thing frontally. And then of course 120, which all the Russians are, 122 and above, will auto pen this if it hits in the front. So go figure. Anyway, back to the garage. So weird armor ink is what you would say with this thing. Mobility wise, it's a mixed bag, if I'm honest. It's not particularly great. It only weighs 37 tons, 600 horsepower engines, just giving 16 power ratio, which is a little bit on the tardy side. So if I look at the UDES, which is 25.93, so S1 16.19. So yeah, the Strv is basically like the S1 in terms of pickup and movement. Does 50 kph when it gets rolling, which is not so bad, and 45 in reverse. Traverse speed 42.67 degrees per second is very, very good indeed. Now it takes 2 seconds to switch into siege mode, which is basically the same as the UDES and the same as the S1. So if you've played both of those, you'll know what that's like. Switching back into travel mode, as they call it, out of siege mode, is 1.3 seconds, which is actually pretty good. A lot quicker than the UDES, which is only 2 seconds. And basically it's exactly the same as the S1. So it basically takes a while to get into siege mode, but relatively quick to get out of it, which is good because at higher tiers you're going to get spotted much quicker, and therefore you are going to have to get out of dodge very, very quickly. Now camo values are very, very good indeed on this thing. Now again, I have got a good crew, and I have got camo, and I have got a camo net, but I'm getting 60% when stationary and in cover. So I'm getting 37 or so out of all the bonuses. So that's still pretty reasonable, but you know, that's not beyond the realms of possibility when you get to tier 10, tier 9 or tier 10 to have a crew like this. And they haven't even all got camo. The commander hasn't got full camo yet, so that will get even better still. So very, very stealthy, can remain hidden pretty well in this thing. Obviously the moment you open fire, that drops down to 12. So from 60 to 12. So yeah, you're going to get spotted when you open up, but hey, if you stay hidden, you can hold your spot, hold your nerve, you can really do some damage in this thing. Similarly, view range is pretty good indeed. You're getting basically 300 and so my math here, 380, something like that. I'm getting 486 with binos, brothers in arms, recon, and situational awareness. So yeah, very good view range, very good camo rating. It's a TD, right? It's designed to stay hidden. It's designed to just pop out and blast things away. And you know, so I don't think it's a bad tank even as a stock, but it does take a bit of getting used to. And the thing you cannot do, which you can get away with in the UDES a little bit, you can stay hidden, stay in a position a lot longer. I found with this Struntzwagen you have to fire and assume you are spotted and move, because you 9 times out of 10 you're in higher tier battle. Some of these heavies that you're going up against have view range that you know, would just absolutely spot everything on the map, and if you dare to fire, you're in serious trouble. So to see, the camo rating drops from 60 to 12 when I open fire on this thing. So it's a stealthy, nice little tank with pretty good gun, well, in fact a very good gun, and a little bit lacking on the mobility. That's the one thing I do dislike on this tank, and it's something that means I won't keep this when I move on up to the S tank, the tier 10. The UDES I love because of the mobility, and I've grown to love it. It took me a long time to get used to it. This thing, it's not quite in the same class, I don't think. My humble opinion. Anyway, enough kerfuffle, let's take it out and play some games. Okay, so here we are on the new LoT Movanka. It's a tier 10 game, of course. Trying to navigate all the tanks. Sorry, trying to move out your way, and I'm actually getting in your way. Damn, I went the wrong side of that building. That was stupid. It's all a bit disorientating when you first play on these new maps. So we're going to camp bush because we're a TD. Samur hasn't got much of a turret, buddy. It's one of those new Frenchy premium tanks. This light tank is causing a problem. Nice kill. See the accuracy, you don't have to aim much, just lock straight in, bang. Although RNG does screw you over every so often. Under the lower plate of the T30. No shots on those fellas, unfortunately. Straight through the turret of the grilly. Just like that, we've done 1200 damage. Oh, knocked down a tree, not so good. Move back again because RT, if they're paying attention, might see that. Yeah, we've got nothing out on the other flank, which is a little concerning. This guy going to make a slip up and give me something? Been pretty good so far, whizzing around. Somebody's hit him. Artie just hit him. Blimey, good shot, Artie. Really is impossible to hit. Still nothing. Ah, there we go. We have got contacts behind. Turning around in this thing is a little slow. Missed. Just love the fast response on these Swedish TDs. They are so quick to fire. Ah, missed. Almost got him. Losing a game we should have won. Do some spotting for me. Try to get shot in the arse by something. Yeah, this is what worries me. We need to remove that light tank behind, else we are screwed. One hit point kill. Got spotted there. Backstop job as much as I can, but not easy. Right, let's get out here. First gear. Oh, he's dead. Good. Okay. Where did that TVP go? Let's move forward a bit. Tight game. Really tight game. $2,700 damage, 3 kills, I'll take that. TVP's pulled right the way back. Okay, so let's move forward a bit. Down, that's good. Need to spot something. Need someone to spot something for me. I like playing these sort of TDs where you can move forward a bit, you can roll forward, create a bit of now, can't hit him. Put one shell into it. Oh, he's down. Oh no, that's the artillery down. Good. No artillery to worry about now. I'd like to move forward a bit further, but it's a bit risky. Maybe I can. Here we go. didn't get in position quickly enough there to take him on. Really could do with that medium moving forward a bit. Not really got anywhere to fall back from here. Okay, until I fire. The moment I fire, I give my position away. No shot on him. Oh, so they're all together. Okay. In which case, let's move forward. Beautiful looking maps, these, aren't they? Ah! Shit, I got spotted doing that as well. That was stupid. Good thing I'm not recording it or anything. Got him. I'm stuck. Wow. They made this higher. I can't get out. I don't know whether that was just my awful driving or whether that was the graphics or what that was, but that was weird. I couldn't get myself into a position quickly enough to actually take advantage of what they're seeing. Damn. Down, he's not, he's just damaged. Should have stayed where I was, maybe. It's all that faffing around on the train, I got stuck, couldn't move. Now where would you go if you were the TVP? You'd come around behind me, wouldn't you? That's what I would do. Oh, wow. Roll. Still got no shots on him though. Damnation, I keep getting moving and then they appear just at the moment I've relocated. T30's got no health. So there's a bit of an impasse. Nobody's got any health. I've got the most health actually. I wonder if I can get round behind them. The trouble is every time I've moved, I've missed the opportunity to get a shot. I'm going to move. Good, he's down. Not worried about the Carnarvons shooting me forwards. Ah, he said. To then get hit. Famous last words there, Dom. Well done. Once I'm in siege mode, it's hard for him to hit me. Pen me. Come on, stick your head up. You know you can't resist. Ah, somebody else got him. Okay, not the greatest finale, but I think the early part of that game is alright. And you can see the mobility, the gun handling was excellent. It's just a little slower than the UDES, and I don't know what was going on with coming up that dip, but I couldn't get back up again. That was weird. Very weird indeed. But really good camo until you fire. Very good accurate gun, apart from the odd RNG moment. You know, not too bad. Only finished up with a 3rd class, fire for effect. Second on the team. That's okay. 3,114 damage, 3 kills, 776 base XP, 5 to 17 shots, hit with 10, penned with 10 for that 3,000 damage. Took 4 hits myself, 2 of which penned me, 2 of which didn't. That was that Carnarvon hit me and the TVP hit me. Both of whom don't have a high enough caliber gun for when I was in siege mode because of that armor profiling, so I blocked 500 damage. Only did 800 assistance, 42,000 credits. Did I fire some premium? Didn't think I did. Shell cost must be very high. So 14,500 profit. And reward for mission completed. Why did I get that? I wasn't running any missions. Oh well, whatever. 2,000 crew experience for the crew. So yeah, interesting. It's kind of a, yeah, it's an alright tank. I don't have a big issue with it. Not my favourite, but not my worst by any means. Let's try another one. Okay, so this is Man in a Can. Subscriber I haven't heard much from for a little while, and he's going to show us how the Strv 1030 is played. He is on steps. It is a tier 10 game, and you know, kind of this map is quite good for this TD, because when you're in siege mode you can get a really low silhouette and make that gun do some serious talking. He starts off by, I think he was going to go where that other Strv 103B was going to park up, so he's decided to come round out to the left flank instead. So let's see, he's going to go. He's going to go up onto that hillock there. There's not much come out this side. It's a bit risky really to come out here on your own. However, increasing, I don't know about you guys, I'm finding that more and more that players tend to avoid this area more. It tends to be a little bit of a heavy fisticuffs, but most of the fighting now seems to happen down the other side. 7, 8, 9 and 0 lines. This tends to be a bit more static over here, but we'll still see whether that's the case in this game. So Manakan has got himself into a nice position. He is sort of relatively sheltered from the artillery, and he can get some shots down onto those guys who are trying to deal with our IS-7. IS-7 is completely alone apart from us. Ah, here comes a T-10. Okay, tell a lie, say something, and then suddenly he arrives. But the enemy is showing very little sign of wanting to push. Just as I say that, is that an E3 coming round? Oh, they're getting their man pants on. They're getting a bit brave. They just smacked the IS-7 a little bit. Man is trying to get into a better location so he can't be spotted, but can get a shot off. Gets one into the Conqueror. Missed the E3. Wasn't quite set up in time. Sorry, not yes. Nice into the Tiger 2. Couple of good shots. He's already on 800 damage. Another one into the Tiger 2. Obviously reloaded quickly enough. There's the E3. Now look at this. You can get right down behind the hill. Can't go much further because there's rocks behind him. It's a good thing that I7 got a little bit of support because he was looking very isolated. Can we snipe the Cupola? Trouble is, look at those values there. It's telling me I had penetration, or he had penetration of 304, and the value of that commander's hatch was something like 350. So he'd need premium to go through that thing. Keeps getting spotted. And artillery finally comes to our assistance. It's 5-all, so it's a real schnall fest going on. 5-6. Where's that E1 going? Is he going to pop out around there? Oh my goodness, now there's a Super Conqueror on the way. Trying to just poke over enough to get some shots without being spotted. Bounces that shot from the STA-1. Oh, sorry, it was from the Conqueror, sorry. Just very little chance he'd pen us from that sort of distance with the sloping such that it is in this tank. Then I go and talk too soon and he manages to put one through us. We managed to doff our return shot. And that's it. Man in the Can's decided, well, he was thinking about moving there. And then he obviously had a pang of guilt and thought, I can't leave those guys completely isolated, which is true enough, but he is being fired on quite a lot here. Super Conqueror, firing down onto the upper plate should have done all the damage he needed, and now he's finally decided that's it, he's off. Can't say I blame him. There goes the Type 4 Heavy. He did try and stand by him, but sheesh. Now this is one of the novelties of this tank, is pretty darn good going backwards as it is going forward, and that's the reality. Is these things, the S-tanks in the Swedish army, they had two drivers. They had a front-facing driver and a rear-facing driver, because for exactly this sort of reason. You get into position, you open fire, and then you need to get the hell out of dodge really quickly. So, and that's exactly what he's doing, pulling right back. Now it looks like we won the 890 line, so at least we know that for a while at least nothing much is going to be coming the other way. Everything's going to be coming down the 123 line or through the centre. T-54's covering the centre. So he gets himself set up, ready to keep an eye on what's coming down there. Nice shot. Lower plate of the E3. Still persisting to aim for that commander's hatch, but it's really not a weak spot. Conqueror, however, his hull is certainly a weak spot. One giant weak spot. What I liked about this is he managed to relocate, and you know, I think too many times artillery and TDs just stay too far forward for too long. And I thought he'd left it too late when I first watched this, because he looked like he was staying stuck in a bit too long, but he knew the speed of this thing, and when it gets shifting it's not too bad, and because it can go backwards there's less time taken turning around and getting out and what have you. So STO1 is getting a working over, but we've got no shot at the moment. Anybody out there? Still nothing there. Here comes the E3 again. Oh, these things are hard to take out. Oh, that was nice. Very nice shell. Still hasn't resorted to firing any premium. All standard high quality AP. At the moment, well, it's not as APCR standard with this thing, but you know what I mean. Don't fire at the Cupola, it's not a weak spot. Wait until he turns the gun. Oh dear. Our T-54 succumbed to the E1. However, we actually have more hit points. not by much, actually about the same, almost identical hit points, even though they've got 2 more tanks, which is a good thing, especially when you've got 2 good TDs sitting here ready to open up on anything they see. Man was a little slow on getting that one away, but still takes him down. Well, his team still take him down, so that's good. Right, 4 enemy tanks left, 3 allied tanks left. Definitely squeaky bum time. Definitely squeaky bum time. There's the 8th E1. It's KG here. Who's going to blink first? Momentarily have an outline there, but only momentarily. The good thing about using APCR as a standard ammunition is the shell velocity is pretty quick. And he puts a nice shell through that E1. And he is down. Right, 3 all. This is tight. Now he's getting a bit nervous, and I can understand it, of anything coming to their right. But at the moment nobody seems to be. The enemy are quite happy to push through straight onto us. At some point somebody's going to go, why don't we go around the side? But then they are all, it's 2 heavies and a TD left on the enemy team, so they're not the most mobile in the west. You've got to have the patience of a saint driving a TD in this game. E3's put back up again. Still not got a shell, but it doesn't matter. MX took him down. Right, we now... oh, it's now 2 all. 2 heavies against a light and a TD. A Conqueror and a Tiger 2. Neither of them have been seen for quite some time. Does that mean they've gone all the way around? No, it doesn't. It means they've just been sitting there. Nice snapshot. Man in the can does a lovely snapshot, takes down that Tiger 2 who was side on to us, so it was a relatively easy shot. But at that distance, that was way well, beyond 400 meters anyway. It's a heck of a good shot. Go back to where he started originally. He's done an impromptu platoon with the AMX. They've got 7 kills between them. Oh, there's the Conqueror. Get brothers in arms who really need man in the can to get the kill here. He's trying to get some height, I think. Or at least get away from... I thought he was going to try and climb that hill, but I think he's maybe just trying to get away. So he's got some distance and puts shells like... oh, that's outrageous. Fully aimed. One of the most accurate guns in the game, and he manages to miss. But he doesn't the second time. So that is it. Cleans him up, wins the game, gets Brotherhood at the same time. GG. So even with this gun, which on paper is extremely accurate, still gets some real funny misses like that Conqueror at the end there. First class he got out of that, Bruiser, fire for effect. Finished up second on his team behind his impromptu platoon mate with nearly 4,000 damage, 3 kills and 1050 base XP. Fired 17 shots, hit with 13, penned with 12. Took 3 hits himself, one of which penned, 2 did not because of that supreme angling. 54,000 credits after costs, just over 30,000 profit, and 1,500 experience. So there you go, that is Man in the Can, showing us how the Strv 1030 works. So that's the Strv 1030 Tier 9 Swedish tank destroyer. It's okay. Is that all I'm going to say? Yeah, it's okay. I quite like it. I wouldn't get enthusiastic about it. It's certainly not a tank I plan to hold on to once I've ground through to the Tier 10. But it's not horrible either. It's an okay tank. Yeah, that's all I can say about it. I've played 72 games in it now. I'm averaging 1700 damage. Yeah, I think that's what that works out at. Only a 49% win rate. But you know, it's okay. I don't get enthusiastic playing it. It's just alright, really. And on that bombshell, I shall leave you to enjoy it. Let me know if you've been playing the Swedish tank destroyer line, how far you got. I'd love to know. You know, I'll keep grinding my way down. I have grown to like the UDES. I've still got the IKV 90 and the IKV 65 in my garage because I quite like both of those TDs. I'm hoping the S tank at Tier 10 is going to be way better than this thing, but it's, you know, it is what it is. I definitely won't be holding on to this thing once I've ground through to the Tier 10. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, hope it was useful, hope it was informative. If it was, please give it a like and let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Swedish tank destroyers. And also look at this gentle rotation you get with this new garage. Anyway, enjoy your games, have fun, try not to take it too seriously, and I will see you again soon. This is GamerDom signing out.